Chris Sanchez, sir, did give us a solid start last night. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Sanchez Media to recap in last night's game between the Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds. As the Phillies defeat the Reds by a final score of 7-5, as they now take the first 3 games to this 4-game series. Now have a chance to sweep the series at 7:05 tonight. And I guess before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So I would love to see this Phillies team take care of business tonight and complete this 4-game sweep of the Reds. So Chris Sanchez gets to start last night, going 6 innings and striking out 7. So I think that was a pretty smart move, right? I mean, I like the idea of giving everybody in this rotation an extra day of rest, as they did on Saturday's second game of doubleheader by letting Bailey Falter get the opener start. As we all know, he did very well in that opener start. So I really like this idea, right? I mean, we're going down the stretch here now. 14 games over 500 after last night's win. You saw last year as Zach Lee was starting to really get tired. I mean, you already started to see it now, and you're really starting to see Aaron Nola kind of get a little bit fatigued as well. So the fact that you're able to give these guys one extra day rest is, certainly a big deal. It won't hurt at all. It's big of the scoring ceremony here in the top of the second inning. Stuart Fairchild homers on a fly ball to center field. That ball's absolutely crushed his second this season. Luckily, it was a solo shot, and it's 1-0 Reds. And that ball was absolutely crushed. I mean, the Phillies stranded bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Thinking like, oh my gosh. I mean, think about it. They just would have taken care of business right there, and at least would have gotten a sac fly. The game would have just been tied. But instead, now we trail by 1. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do. Simple fundamentals of the game. When there's a runner in third, less than 2 out, you have to get him in. Then we pick it up here in the bottom of the second inning. Matt Vierling singles on a ground ball to left field. Gene Segura comes around to score as the ball game is now tied at 1. So Matt Vierling starting to look a little bit more productive. Of course, he hit the home run the night before to left center field, and then he drives in Gene Segura on the RBI single. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Rhys Hoskins batting with the bases loaded, 1 out, and grounds the ball to second base as Nick Maton comes around to score. Rhys Hoskins was able to beat out the throw to first base, and here's the problem I have with this, right? In the bottom of the first inning, as I talked about, bases loaded, 1 out, double play. And then here we go, bottom of the second inning, bases loaded, 1 out, almost double play. Almost was another double play, and I guarantee if that ball would have just been hit a little bit harder, it would have been an inning-ending double play, and we would have gotten nothing out of that. That's how close we were. Luckily, Rhys Hoskins was able to beat out that throw, and honestly, the ball wasn't hit very hard at all. 2-1 Phils. Let me pick it up here in the bottom of the third inning. JT Realmuto stay hot as he homers on a fly ball to left center field. His 14th home run of the season, as it's now 3-1 Phils. Realmuto continues to stay red hot. Had 3-hit night last night, ladies and gentlemen, to go along with that. What this guy's been doing, since the start of July 1st has just been incredible, as we talked about him many times on here before. 14 round trippers for JT. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Kyle Schwarber batting with the bases loaded, right? The struggling Kyle Schwarber manages to draw a bases loaded walk. Bryson Stott comes around to score, as it's now 4-1 Philadelphia. Kyle Schwarber, right, the walk machine, I mean, certainly hasn't been as productive here in the second half of the season like he was in the first half of the season, especially in that department. We kind of did it back to the Reds, right? It's funny because the night before, the Reds, collected back-to-back bases loaded walks, and we do it again as Rhys Hoskins walks with the bases loaded. Gene Segura comes around to score, as it's now 5-1 Phillies. I love that, man. As I said, we kind of get our revenge. Against this Reds team. So we now have a comfortable 5-1 lead. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Alec Bohm singles on a line drive the other way to right field. Matt Vierling comes around to score, as it's now 6-1 Phil. So we're now up 6-1. You're feeling pretty good going against a team like the Reds, who of course isn't having the best of seasons. That is for sure, as we all know. So Alec Bohm continues to hit the ball to all field. Then we pick it up here in the top of the fourth inning. The Reds get a little bit closer as Kyle Farmer homers on a fly ball to left field, his 7th of the season, a solo shot. It's now a 6-2 ball game. At this point in the ball game, the only 2 runs they got were 2 solo home runs. So we pick it up here in the top of the 6th inning. Jonathan India doubles on a sharp line drive to center field, and Chucky Robinson comes around to score, and this is now a 6-3 ball game. So the Reds now just trail by 3. That was pretty much the final mistake Chris Sanchez made in his start, right? He allows the 2 solo home runs, then he allows the RBI double to Jonathan India. Other than that, he was really good. Much better than we expected him to be. It was Jonathan India's 13th double of the season. Then we pick it up here in the top of the 7th inning. TJ Freedy hits a sacrifice fly to right field. Jose Bureau comes around to score. It's a 6-4 ball game. So you're quietly letting the Reds come back in this ball game. That was one thing I was a little bit annoyed about. I'll be honest with you. I mean, this is a last place Reds team, a really, really bad Reds team. Not in the Washington Nationals territory, but pretty close. I'd say you got, the worst of the teams. You go take a look at all-around Major League Baseball. The Kansas City Royals, Cincinnati Reds, right, floating around there. And then down here, you got the Nationals, right? I think there's a whole separate category for them, how bad they are. They're still pretty pitiful as a baseball team. Honestly, I will say it shouldn't be this hard to beat the Reds. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be this hard to beat these guys. I understand, yes, it was some nice fundamental baseball, collecting run on sacrifice fight. And we pick it up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We get one back as Rhys Hoskins singles on a ground ball to left field. Matt Veerling crosses the plate. And it's now a 7-4 ball game. So you're starting to get a little bit nervous. Oh my gosh, is this Reds team coming back? I mean, oh my gosh, we had to hang on to this win. Then Rhys Hoskins delivers a nice insurance run right there. I mean, that was really, really big. I mean, Kyle Farmer kind of missed playing that over at third as well. So this Reds defense continues to, kind of make some miscues. Then we pick it up here in the top of the 8th inning. Javier Lopez doubles on a sharp line drive to right field. Adios Aquino comes around to score. This is now a 7-5 ball game. So Lopez 4th double of the season. So the Reds get that run right back. They get that run right back, and thankfully, we'd still, maintain our 2-run lead, and we would go on to win by that score 7-5. Take the first 3 games of this 4-game series, as we have a good chance at sweeping tonight. Aaron Nola takes the hill tonight, so hopefully he can bounce back from his last start, which wasn't very good. So hoping he can bounce back. Kyle Schwarber out of the leadoff spot. Only one hit last night was the sharp single to right field. I mean, that ball was hit very hard. He also draws a walk last night as well. The bases loaded walk. Collected RBI is 72nd of the season. Kyle Schwarber is certainly not having a good series. Hasn't had a good month of August. It's pretty much no secret. At 803 OPS, and in his last 30 games, 216 average, 290 on base, and a 441 slugging. And he was only hit 6 home runs the last 30 days. So he's certainly not been looking too good. Rhys Hoskins, 2 knocks last night as well. Also collecting 3 RBIs. Certainly a productive night last night for him. Also drawing a walk, the on-base machine, as we talked about many, many times before. Alec Bohm with the RBI single going the other way. So I love to see that. Another clutch hit off the bat of Alec Bohm. And, we continue to see it. I mean, his plate approach has just been so much better. I mean, much more discipline up there at the plate. JT Realmuto, 3 knocks last night. The double, the single, the home run. Collected his 21st double of the season last night. So you got one guy, Kyle Schwarber since the All-Star break, who's just been absolutely terrible. And then you got JT Realmuto on the other hand, a guy that wasn't even an All-Star, really turned his season around in a big way. As his OPS now jumps above the 800 mark, now sits at 803 on the season. That's what I like to see. 60 RBIs, a 273 average. His last 7 games, 429 average, 467 on base, and go along with a 750 slugging. And over his last 30 games, nearly a 360 average at 355, 413 OBP, and a 691 slugging percentage. So think about it. I mean, that's an OPS well over 1,000 over the last month. To go along with almost a 360 batting average. I mean, go along with Alec Bohm. I think JT Realmuto is even more consistent Alec Bohm since the start of July 1st. I mean, JT Realmuto has just been incredible. He stepped up in such a big way, and I love to see it. BCIB, that is for sure. And Nick Castellanos collects 2 singles last night. Of course, the singles hitter Castellanos gets his average up now to 268. So now just 2 points shy of 700, and that OPS now jumps above the 700 mark. Now it's 707. Still some room for improvement there. Bryson Stott, 1 knock last night. As he collected his 13th double of the season, and he also draws a walk. Stott's average now climbs up to 228, and he has a 648 OPS. So as I mentioned, a couple times before, I'd like to see him get that OPS at least close to 700. It's certainly going to be, difficult for him to, reach over 700 with that OPS, but I'd like to see him at least get close to 700. That's one thing I'd like to see. And Gene Segura, 3 knocks last night, the 3 singles, also scoring 2 runs. Certainly a productive night last night for him. And this is a guy, of course, puts the ball in play a lot. Nick Maton gets to start in left field as he goes hitless, but he was able to draw a walk. Yanni Munoz came out the bench to pinch hit for him and take around left field. And, of course, he drops a routine fly ball out there in the top of the 9th inning. Luckily, nothing came out of it, but my gosh, leave Nick Maton out there. I mean, my gosh. I mean, Rob Thompson certainly has a good amount of Joe Girardi in him. I mean, why should we be surprised at that? This is a guy that sat right next to Joe Girardi for 15 years. And Matt Feeling, 2 knocks last night as well. Also drawing a walk. He's definitely looked better in this series. I mean, as I mentioned before, he's had a pretty rough month of August. Hit the home run the night before, and he has a nice 2-hit night last night as well. Also drawing a walk. And Chris Sanchez, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all 3 were earned. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 7. So this is by far the best start he's had. A 3.94 ERA for Sanchez, gets the win now, 2-1 on the year. So it's just incredible, and it's very, very smart by Rob Thompson. I mean, you're playing really, really lousy teams like the Reds and Pirates coming up, and it's nice. You can give this rotation an extra day rest. By throwing in guys like Chris Sanchez and Bailey Falter every couple of days. So, I mean, that was a little risky to do in the Mets series, I'll be honest with you. Chris Sanchez, through 29 2/3 innings, 104 whip, 25 strikeouts in 11 games. And it was against the Reds, but hey, they're still a professional team. As bad as they are, as bad as they look, still at the end of the day, professional baseball team. Nick Nelson allows the sacrifice fly to TJ Freedy, as he does get smacked with the earned run. And Angie Bellotti, third in the inning, as he was able to come in and get us out of it to collect the final out of the inning. And Connor Brogdon, 1 inning, 2 hits, run was earned, and he strikes out 2. As he allowed the RBI double to Javier Lopez to score a key. David Robertson comes in and collects the save, his 18th of the season. Of course, he does walk 1 and strike out 1. And, of course, the guy was standing on second base because Daniel Munoz just decided to drop a routine fly ball out to left field. So that would be your ball game. The Phillies are now 2 games up in the National League wildcard, the second slot of the National League wildcard. Padres were swept by the Cleveland Guardians. This Padres team, as I mentioned many times before, just not as good as everybody says they are. They're now only 10 games above 500. Think about that, only 10 games above 500. Almost 15 games above 500. Almost 15 games. If we win today, we're going to be 15 games over 500, which is just very impressive for a team that was once almost 10 games below 500, at the time Joe Girardi was fired. I mean, that's certainly very impressive, and it's something that, we definitely should be patting ourselves on the back for. So we have a chance to collect our 70th win of the season tonight. So wouldn't that just be, something, right? I mean, wouldn't that just be something? Hopefully we could do that. So the Braves win again last night, as they're now just 1.5 games out from the first place spot in the NL East. I mean, the Mets are certainly a little bit nervous. I mean, granted, they're going to be playing a pretty easy opponent for them in the Colorado Rockies. But still, I have to say, I'm sure they're pretty nervous. I'm sure the Braves are pretty excited. Now, granted, they are playing the Pirates, but hey, I mean, you still got to take advantage of playing the bad teams. As we've seen, times in the past, the Phillies have not really taken care of business of playing the bad teams. Of course, they have this year, but not so much in, the past few seasons. That is for sure, as we remember quite well. So that is pretty much it. So 7-5, the first pitch tonight, done on the mound for Cincinnati, 1-1. 6.08 ERA, going against Aaron Nola, 8-10 with a 3.25 ERA. So hopefully we can win kind of comfortably today, because honestly, this Reds team has given us a run for their money. I will say, especially the last 2 nights, it's not been like a cakewalk, man. It's not been, so easy. You know what I mean? They made it a little tough on us. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on that notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media. Link is good to the section at Phillies Hot Stove Media, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Hot Stove Media. Card text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshotstovmedia@gmail.com. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go, Phillies. See you guys.